Sanford is where Hot Fuzz is, isn't it?
I don't know.
Sanford on Thames, isn't it, or something like that? Something posh.
Yeah, it only ever
It's
do
Sanford
50
on
characters.
something. Did it?
Sanford on Thames, yeah. Though I didn't see a lot of water. To be fair, it's mostly alcohol.
We saw a lot of liquid, just not the right sort.
Well,
So
it
I
seemed like the
didn't.
right-
I didn't see you at all yesterday, Bruce. I got there quite early because I was worried about the car parking.
Yeah, so did we.
And then all I saw you and your happy little face, and that's the only way to describe it. Looking back at the crowd, I think you were stood in like the entranceway of the, where people come out.
I didn't make it beyond the entranceway. I don't think I fell over. Did you see me fall over?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but
a step tripped me up.
Well, I didn't know steps could do that. That's
Was
terrible.
it H or?
Yeah.
H, yeah, I think so.
And you look so happy at that last Christmas chant. I never seen you beaming so much. It's like you'd found some arcane footage from 1878.
I do remember turning around and looking up at the sort of the rows of town fans behind me, and then I think I felt a bit dizzy or something, so I had to turn around again.
Let's have a sit down.
It was a fall down. It was a good day. I mean, I don't remember a lot of the match. I'm hoping tonight can sort of fill in the gaps. I've watched the highlights. I remember it being a shit experience. I mean, it was dead foggy, wasn't it? And I couldn't be coping with a three-sided ground every week. It'd do my head in. I tweeted earlier. Can you imagine sitting in the opposite end to those seats and also to that car park space and just looking at a goal with nothing behind it every 2 weeks? It just do my head in.
There's times in my period following town, mate, that would have been something I'd like to have done.
Yeah. No, it just was shit.
Imagine when it gets a wind up in there. God, Baltic.
I can see why they want to move grounds again. But it's just, I mean, like you said, I think you said, Alex, that, you've been to Milton Keynes this week and Oxford, and
dedicated.
Thank God we didn't get our stadium at Great Coast. It was, yes. I mean, we went to the Caspian Wheel, and we'll obviously come on to that in good time. But it was in a village next to, we had to. We got a taxi, but it was nearly a mile away from the nearest pub, unless you want to drink in the bowling alley. I mean,
which is so depressing,
football.
Isn't it?
What is this? Yeah, or you want to go for a pint in Frankie and Benny's? I mean, that's absolute bollocks. It's just rubbish. So
it's yeah. The only reason there's only reason I'd have loved Freeman Street is because it would have still been in town. But like Great Coats or the other one next to the freaking cemetery, like where would we have gone for a drink if it had been built at the cemetery? Where would we have gone? Where's the nearest pub? I'll have a look. Someone might be able to.
Well, it's the Hainton, but that's not a proper pub anymore, is it?
Isn't that a Milligan Carter?
Yeah,
there was a point yesterday when we was walking from the pub to the ground that we're walking the wrong way up a dual carriageway, and I'm saying to Jack, "Are we sure this is the way? It doesn't seem like this is the dedicated way to the stadium, the wrong way up a dual carriageway."
It was. I mean, don't get me wrong. The pub was lovely, but it's just not a football match experience, is it? To like you say, Mike. I mean, we parked the car halfway, dropped the lads at the pub, and then we parked the car halfway between the pub and the ground, so we didn't have too far to walk after. Thank God. And it was just like you say, you're just walking down a dual carriageway on the grass verge, and it's just like, this is just, please just give us stadiums that are in town. I mean, the other one that would have been all right for us was the Docks, Alex, because I think you're still within walking distance there of Fremo. Those that like Docks beers have got, that wouldn't be far away, and it'd probably revitalise, some of the sort of the pubs down that end of Fremo, would have been revitalised by that. But God, can you imagine that as your home experience, going to that once every couple of weeks? It's just, that'd be shit, wouldn't it? It really would. You could reach the Premier League and it'd still be shit.
So the nearest pubs, if we'd have built our stadium near Scaffer Cemetery, would have been the Miller and Carter, the Farmhouse Pub in New Waltham, the Pear Tree, which I only ever go into for 2 for 1, and the Rose and Crown. In like there's just a big, yeah.
But I beg to differ, because I think that well, I say beg to differ. I think the Wheat Sheep would be closer. The Wheat Sheep isn't all that far, is it? And the pub's in town, but that would have been crap. And I feel bad that at the time I encouraged the move to that, because I falsely believed that we needed a new stadium, as the old owners and directors told us.
I still think it would be. I personally still think I'm not the hugest fan of Blundell Park, but my God, it's so much better. You do feel like you're part of something, and it's a bit, as an away fan, I quite like Crawley because I could just park behind the away end. It's free of charge. I watch us lose, and then I'm back on the M23 within 5 minutes. But I don't want that as my home ground experience.
No, like I say, Oxford was poor. Milton Keynes is poor. I don't want that. But just before we start properly, I must give.
I thought that was Bruce.
No, he wanted to come and say hello. Say hello,
everybody. Hello, mate. You're right.
Hiya, mate.
He's gone. He didn't care. Rude.
No. Mike wasn't in the pub at the time, but when we arrived, we arrived in the Catherine Wheel, and there was just our lot, which was the 5 of us that were in our car. Young Sam was there, eagerly awaiting our arrival with a pint in his hand. And then there was a group of about 8 town youth. And as I walked in, like I say, we dropped the other lads off. And as we walked in, our lot were just pissing themselves. There was water all over the pool table. It was just like, and what had happened was the young lads had been playing darts, and they'd missed the board. And I'm not kidding, Mike, you saw the dartboard. There must have been 4 or 5 feet of wood either side in a circle all the way around the board, wasn't there? It was
meters, not centimeters.
And they'd managed to miss the dartboard, Alex, miss the backing board, and they'd gone straight into a water pipe.
That's amazing.
A heating pipe, right? And the women, the staff were all on the floor clearing up. Like I say, there was a streak of water, like somebody had turned a hose pipe on across the pool table, which must have been, Mike, 15 feet from the wall?
Yeah, long way.
And anyway, cut a long story quite short, they had to call a plumber out, right? So the poor old plumber was trying to do his job. We'd had a few different shots and pints and everything. So he was told he didn't know what he was doing by quite a few people. And he was trying to sort of take it quite well. So he came and did his job. Anyway, Nutty, who was with us, said to the barmaid, what did that cost you? And she went, we had to pay a £50 call out. He was only there about 20 minutes, sort of made it look like he was doing stuff, and then put a bit of gaffer tape around it and left. And so anyway, we did a name card. The town fans did a name card to pay for the £50 call out. She gave us a name card from behind the bar, £30 to Will the winner, and £50 to the bar, to the pub, to pay for their damage that we'd done. So football fans get a bad rap, but poor old Will, though. He was forced to spend his money on shots anyway, Mike, wasn't he? Will he get the shots in? It was a great atmosphere in the pub, and a good time was had by all. Probably too good. Poor old
the
Sam
real winner.
Well. We've got to mention Sam, haven't we, Mike, as well?
Oh, he got stitched up.
Poor old Sam got stung with a £62 round.
It'll come out of our pockets anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
He stood it, though. To be fair, the bottom lip shook for about 30 seconds, and he went a bit red and a bit blotchy, and then he tapped his card, and we all had.
Oh, didn't he?
We all had double Baileys.
That's not a baby Guinness. That's a Guinness.
It was quite a large amount of Baileys, yeah. But we had.
I just like the idea that Sam's trying to fake it and just says beep as his card hits the machine, trying to pull it away quickly.
Yeah, pretend that he tapped it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what do we have, Mike? We had Nutty Bombs, which I think is Amaretto and Red Bull. We had
like
Tequila Rose. We have Tequila Rose, Mike. I think we did.
I didn't, but some people did. Yeah.
We had Tequila Rose. We had Sambuca. Yeah, it was. No wonder the game was messy.
These pod days are quite messy. I mean, at least Sam didn't leave his underwear somewhere, I guess. So, it's not
that we know of. There was a few moments in Tooting where I wasn't sure where he was.
He did send me a drunken message, though. I genuinely.
I love you, Bruce.
No. It was he got offended by. I put a message on the WhatsApp, on our WhatsApp, didn't I? About 10, 15 minutes after he'd left the pub. Is Sam okay? Because he was obviously a bit drunk. And then he messaged me and said, "Have I upset you or something?" And anyway, I messaged him back this morning because I couldn't read my phone yesterday because my eyes don't work very well without my glasses these days. And I was like, "What are you on about? I was just checking if you were all right." Oh, sorry. You know how easily offended these youngsters are. But yeah,
it was quite.
Should we talk about the game?
Not really. We lost. Next
When
one.
we started.
FA Cup dreams over. Artel out.
At least they got Coventry away. That's shit. Another car park in the middle of nowhere.
God, could you imagine? The FA Cup would do that to us as well, wouldn't it? Just miserable places to go and go from there, really. That says launch. Is that right? I might. Where have I put the theme? Oh, right. Okay. Shall we try?
We're in trouble if you're asking us.
Let's go for it.
No. Right. Let's go with this one.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got a penalty here. There'll be fish flying about there. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really, really good shot. You can't make it straight for that.
Is my mic on?
Yeah.
They decided to have a little bit of a fart halfway through that. Welcome, everyone, to the 35 podcast. I'm joined by Mike, and I think Jack, though.
Hello.
There we go. Another man that was worse for wear yesterday, who said to me, "I haven't been this drunk in 3 years," and then proceeded to nearly fall on a poor woman in front of him.
I felt better today. I seemingly have to do this once every sort of 7 or 8 months, just to remind myself why I've packed in the fun days. And God, I felt like shit today. Christ, that boy Bruce started it all. That naughty Bruce.
Bruce is looking quite smug.
They're going to Tooting till God knows what time.
Did you go to Tooting, Bruce? You didn't, did you?
No, me and Mike went to Tooting.
No. Well,
yeah, I was scraped into the car and returned up north.
Well,
we got back about 8:30, which wasn't too bad. I think I slept some other way. But yeah, I think I was all right though because I feel all right today because I stopped drinking. I didn't drink after the game. Bloody hell, I didn't need any more. So I sort of just sat in the car and I had a hangover by about 6 o'clock.
So Jack's either playing FIFA or he's at a Sunday league game. Sorry, Bruce.
Jack is playing FIFA.
There we go. What were you saying? Sorry, Bruce.
Is that a penalty, Jack?
No, it was a corner to the opposition. So you do have my full attention. I was.
It's out.
Midway through again.
If Jack gets it past the first post, he gets a prize.
I don't know how to turn the bloody thing off. How do you? The telly's muted, but now the controller makes noise, and that's never helpful.
Just press the round button in the middle, mate, and it'll just wait for you to come back after you've finished.
Right, I'm all yours. I'm all yours.
Wayne says hi. So does Tim. So does Ben. He's going through the list of pubs. Ollie saying non-stop tavern. Evening, Daniel. Welcome, everyone. It'd be great to get your thoughts because this is the first week David Artell. Did I get his name wrong or something, Bruce? You went, who? Did I get his name wrong?
No, that was me pretending about how pissed I was. I didn't even know. Didn't know what was going on. It was a shit joke, obviously.
No, do you know what my best joke yesterday was? There's no man more optimistic in football than the town player on the far post at a town corner. That's the most optimistic person in the whole of football because no way is the ball getting there. A new man in charge, same set pieces, though. Give him a couple of weeks. Me and Jack are dedicated. We've seen both games. We've travelled the length and breadth of the southeast to watch Town. This is what Scunny fans must be like with regional football, really. And 1-1 with MK Dons, and then the defeat at Oxford. Let's start with Oxford, because Grimsby Town's FA Cup dreams are over. We are no longer FA Cup quarter-finalists. We are out. Bruce, what did you make of it, if you can remember any of it? And that's why I'm going to you first.
Bloody hell, I was going to say. I remember they scored a couple of times. The first, they scored at sort of bad. I know there's never a good time to concede, but the first goal, I don't know if we were in the ground quite for kickoff or not, but I think we were, because we would have been late. We got a taxi in the end. The first goal seemed to come with one of their first attacks, and you're like, here we go. And then I noticed that I didn't have a clue when the second goal was, but it was 75 minutes, and presumably that killed us off, did it? We probably weren't getting back into it after that. I did watch the highlights, and we had the chance where he slipped over after their second goal.
Donovan Wilson slipped over and missed a one-on-one as well.
The one-on-one, I thought was pretty poor. I thought it was a pretty poor effort. It was basically a left foot swinger that it looked like all he wanted to do was put it on target. And I would expect a professional running through on goal because he had a bit of time. To be fair, he didn't. It was played into his path. It wasn't like it was a snapshot. I thought he should have done better with that one. And we had another one at the other end, in another one in the second half, didn't we? That somebody put over the bar. I can't remember who that was, but yeah, I thought we looked all right, and it was the old problem, wasn't it, that of us not being clinical enough, which we've talked about, over different points during this season, and we just didn't take our chances, and they did, and we're out, and as you say, we're no longer quarter-finalists, and that's probably as much as I can tell you, mate. To be fair.
Well, Richard Young follows it up with, he wasn't even sure if he made it for kickoff. This is Dion Dublin quality analysis. So, you've been roundly scolded, Bruce.
Just a shit Dion Dublin.
Just a shit Dion Dublin. Daniel Lewis is right. It was Rose that slipped. That says a lot about my reporting as well. And I was sober. Mike, what did you make of it? I thought Town were, I thought we gave as good as we got. And, with a decent, bit of finishing, we could have well been away with that.
Yeah, I don't think it was a game that, if you looked at it not knowing which team was in which division, I don't think you'd have had much of a chance of telling. I don't think you could see a massive gulf in class. I think the only difference was one team was more clinical and took its opportunities, the other team didn't. I think the first goal we conceded, bit of a, bit frustrating because it's from our corner and we've pushed everybody up. So, it's disappointing to concede that, but again, you can't fault it because it's through boldness, So we've mentioned a lot about trying to make most of set plays and free kicks and corners. So I can't really blame them for going for it. It just fell to their winger who just had Conte on toast and went down the left hand side. Good save by Cartwright, I think it was, and then fell to a man to put home. Second goal, I thought we were beaten. We gave the ball away too easily. We were beaten too easily. Malarkey on the right, and then there's a free header in the centre of the box, and they're the two differences in the game all over. I think with us, I think it was very interesting. I used to lose count in my times that the centre halves would play a hopeful ball into the channel with no sort of plan behind it. But yesterday, I didn't notice much of that. We were really trying to play with the football, and that's the thing I've noticed over the last week is we're having a good go with it. And I think that summarises the last two games under Artella's how they go. I also like the fact that in midfield he played Conte very much as a one with Clifton and Hunt further forward. That's different from what we've seen. And he very much looks like he likes to play people that are good on the ball and can create something. So I think all in all, I think we played well. I think we were well in the game. I think the only difference is maybe that golfing class at finishing and taking your chances. Other than that, I think we were just about as good as they were. And let's not forget they're top of League One, or in the top couple. So yeah, it's a good game, and positive signs in my eyes.
I think you're right, Mike. That the second goal was awful defending. When I watched the replay, because to be fair, you couldn't make a lot. It was pretty foggy, wasn't it, at times?
No, that's just
that's my excuse. That's my excuse anyway. It was. I think on the replay, we've got at least 3 men on. There's 3 of our players, I think, in the 6-yard box, and there's no one within 2-3 yards of their centre forward or the guy that scored, that's poor at any level, and I'm sure that'll be brought up with them because it wasn't good enough, and obviously it killed the game off. But yeah, their first goal, he was rapid, wasn't he? He just, like you say, he left Conti for dead, and I can confirm for you it was Harvey Cartwright that made the save.
Yeah, I think Cartwright did really, really well and has done well the last couple of games. He still looks like he's got a bit of a nervous error in him, but I thought he pulled off some great saves yesterday. And I think with Donovan Wilson, we're that used to him coming on and the first opportunity he gets or what have you, he slots it in. And just yesterday, he had a couple of good chances and just couldn't do that. And I think if he slots that effort he has and where Rose slips over, I think that game ends a lot differently, because I think we were very much on the ascendancy there, and we could have maybe got the second if we got the first.
We said as well that, yeah, I think you're right. I think Harvey Cartwright did look a little bit dodgy when at the start of the season. He was playing obviously in the Pizza Trophy games or whatever it's called now, and he looked dodgy. But he was coming in for a game once every 5 or 6 games in the league. He was coming in and expected to be able to turn it on for one game, and I think now he looks like the better of the two. And to be honest, if you look at the two of them, I mean, Jake Eastwood's 26, I think he is, something like that, and he's only played a handful of games in his career. In the football league on loan and things like that. Cartwright's career, you would expect that Harvey Cartwright is probably expected to have a better career. So I think you might have to ride it out with him, but he's not quite come to us at the level that Dean Henderson did. But he's certainly a player whose career should be going on an upward trajectory, in the future. And I think that he's going to probably make himself number one, which is a bit of a shame with him being on loan and Eastwood being ours for the next two years or whatever it is.
I can see that being one of the places that Artel looks to strengthen in January, and that's no disrespect to Cartwright, but I think you could make for the bang for your buck. I think that's where you could probably look at making a big improvement, and someone with a little bit of experience, to help lead that what is a relatively dodgy defense. Let's be entirely honest, is not going to necessarily be a bad one. How slow was Conte though yesterday with that blow? I know he was rapid, but Alex Hunt made up the yards. I was really surprised how quickly he was shook off.
I think Conte's very
feet in front.
I think Conte's very quick over a short distance. I think if you're running from inside somebody else's half to the byline, I think their winger is just quicker than him, and I wouldn't expect any difference from a winger and a centre midfielder.
So
but I think over a shorter distance, Conte's quicker. But it's a fair old slog that. I would agree with you about the goalkeeping situation. I think we've mentioned before about the defence being an issue, and one of the things you can do to solve that is get an experienced keeper, in which breeds a lot more confidence. Because as much as I like Cartwright and I think he'll have a good career in front of him, it looks like he's a kid starting his career.
Jack, I'm slightly worried to ask you because I don't think you were any better for the wear than Bruce. But what did you make of yesterday? And MK Dons.
Yeah, I think MK Dons, the first half of MK Dons was the best sort of football I've possibly seen Town play in my memory. That might be being a little overdramatic, but it was just superb. I mean, particularly after the football we have been playing this season, like having very clear from game one, after one training session, way that we're going to play, and then backing that up at Oxford, albeit not to quite the same sort of performance level, but with obviously the context of playing third in League One. It's very encouraging. I think the game yesterday, there wasn't a lot in it, and yeah, as you guys say, I think their finishing and their pace was just a league above ours basically, and that was the difference. And but yeah, I think, albeit not as effective as say that first half at Milton Keynes, which was probably never going to be because of the opposition. I think encouraged by Milton Keynes wasn't just a one-off in here's our brand of football. against this opposition. I think clearly it's going to be the way that we play going forward, and it's just really nice to watch. And yeah, just not having the centre halves lump the ball up kind of aimlessly to Rose and then hope for the best. I don't think over the 2 games we've done that once. And it's just, football's an entertainment, right? That's the product, and it has been far more entertaining, albeit, we've drawn one and lost one, but, it's hard to go away and feel hard done by. Yeah, good.
Cy Hodgson said something to me yesterday saying that one of the problems Paul Hurst did was he's so reactive to who we were playing that we didn't necessarily have a style, which would probably lend itself to being the reason why we were so good in knockout games, because we were dealing with that one specific 90 minutes and we were better prepared for it than others. But over the long term, a team doesn't necessarily have that sort of identity that it needs. But I've been mightily impressed. I thought we played well against Oxford. I thought MK Dons, we were, it was a hell of a lot of more entertaining football, lots more give and go. Tempo was a lot quicker, stretched them, compliments from them and from Oxford fans as well, saying that we were one of the better teams they've seen all season. So it bodes well. I think, we've got a strike force that can score goals. It's just now making sure we've got a defence who can defend it. And I don't particularly have a massive, yesterday, the Conte one, it was just a straight out foot race, and he messed it out. I think they made a mistake putting him that back at the last man. If he's the slowest we've got, considering Alex Hunt, made up, maybe he needs to be in there or somebody else needs to be there. And then the second one, I think there are some things we need to work on, but it was a decent ball in and a good header. So I don't know what else we'll just need to work on them. I've been mightily impressed for a first week, considering he hasn't won, which is probably the problem. Very Hurst-like.
He's got a full week this week as well, hasn't he? Which I think he'll be pleased to have got those 2 games out of the way. And he's building up to a home game as well, so he's not travelling on Friday. I think that it'll be interesting to see, his Blundell Park debut as a manager, certainly in the home. As a home manager at Blundell Park. Now, obviously, we've got to bear in mind that it's not going to work every game, but there's been a lot of games at Blundell Park where we've not been entertained, and I will be interested to see how they set up next Saturday after, like I say, a week on the training ground, because I think he said in his interview that I listened to this morning, he's not had a chance to do anything with set pieces yet. And like Mike was saying, our set pieces have been nothing short of appalling this year, which was very un-Paul Hurst-like. But I think what had happened was we'd ended up with probably the workers in the team rather than the creative players, and often the creative players are the ones that are better at set pieces. And we'll see. Maybe he'll have a little bit of time to plan something, and we'll see Alex Hunt chatting to Luke Waterfall or Marr or Rodgers or whatever, like he used to, and then he'd put it straight onto his nut and we'd all celebrate.
It is good that he's got, that week now to get them on the training ground and drill some stuff into him, because, you listen to him and he talks about how he wants to play football and, his philosophy and wanting to put a brand and an identity on us. Now, I think we're all screaming out for that. We just love to know what we're trying to do. And over the last week, in parts, without getting results, well, I'd say a draw away at MK Don is a result, to be fair. But you can see that. You can see what he has said, and the little time he's had, you can see changes towards that. So it'd be great for him to get that full week and try and get a lot more of his message over. But I think we also have to be cautious. It's going to take a while. He's going to have to bring some different players in that might want to play that way and what have you. So little steps, but what I've seen, what I've heard, what he says looks like what he does, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense. And I also like the way he talks about upcoming games. He's more concerned about us than the opposition, which is just refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I disagree with any of that, and it'll be nice to see what happens. He's a bit intense. That's all I would say at times. Yeah. I think me and him, if I worked for him, I think I'd clash with him. I think after 2 weeks, I'm like, fuck off, Dave. I think that would be my only problem. Hey, no, this is how you do it. Just fuck off, leave me alone.
One interesting thing is
more about me than it does him, I guess.
One interesting thing is he's come straight in and he's put Hunt straight in and around this place, hasn't he? And
looks
he talks
good
well
as
of
well.
him. So he's obviously done a bit of research or knows him from looking at him before, and he seems to think he could be the catalyst for what he wants to do. So yeah, that's interesting. You can always, when a new manager comes in and they instantly change a few things, you think, well, they've done their own work and they know these players before they've come through the door. So
I think that's what we talk about when we talk about clean slates, isn't it? Hunt hasn't really lived up to expectation yet, I would say, and Hurst, not punishing him, but going, well, until you reach this particular level, you're not going to get a chance, and that can disillusion a player. And now he's got an opportunity to do it, and I think he was, I thought he did pretty well yesterday, and he did really well against MK Dons, but he does look tiny against some players. He really does, and he was shook off the ball a couple of times yesterday, but no worse or no better than anyone else. Oxford were just a bit quicker and a bit stronger.
I think that could be a great thing for some of our more creative players. Having that, he very much looks like he's a sort of bloke that says, right, this is what I want you to do, and if you try and do it and it goes wrong, that's my fault, not yours. As opposed to maybe the constraints of keeping a shape and doing that side of things well. So I think Hunt could be the sort of player, along with players like Ganua, that with that freedom to express themselves a bit more, and not worry too much about the overall team performance, just do what I want you to do. I think he would, players like Hunt and Ganua would probably benefit from that quite a lot.
I thought Ganua played really well. I've got to say though, Mar, for that, that second goal, he completely fucked that up yesterday when he lost the ball in the middle of the park for no particular reason. And that was a big mess, and one of the reasons why the defence is so fragile at times. Steve Tappin is already wielding the scythe, and he's asking, who do we get rid of in January? So,
it's not that easy, is it? It's not that easy.
No,
as
Mike,
getting rid of players.
Yeah, Mike is already whispering it.
I think your big
contracts, didn't we?
Yeah, your biggest problem is centre backs. I think there's other problems, but I think that's your biggest issue. And the only covering centre back, I've said this before, is Waterfall. So you'd imagine Luke Waterfall, captain, been here a few years, is on a fair wedge. So if you can move him out, because I think it might be time to. And I've said before, I'm on record of, I love Luke Waterfall. I love what he's done, but now might be the time, and try and use that to bring in one or two more, probably two more centre backs to give us more options, better quality there, but also the option to rotate things. So I think that's where you could be looking. And then there's one of a number that haven't really impressed, have they? But as Bruce says, you can't just. It's not like Footy Manager. You can't just get rid of them. They've got contracts, they've got bills to pay, and if nobody wants to take them on.
Yeah, we gave out some decent contracts in the summer, didn't we? I was having a look through Cod Almighty's contract tracker the other day, and we've got we've got quite a few of them on 2 year deals. A lot of 2 years, weren't there? There was only a couple of 1 year deals given out, I think. So yeah, it's not going to be easy. I mean, you would imagine this is probably going to be Waterfall's last year with us, wouldn't you? He's out of contract, so he might be. Whether we're happy to keep him as a backup, for after January, or whether you give him the chance to go and try and find something else, and the others, a lot of them are under contract, so he'll have to manipulate things a little bit, won't he? And like you say, try and get players out, and maybe pay a proportion of their contracts and stuff. You can't see too many of them. The ones that, when you where we are in the league. In League Two, you can't see too many of them going anywhere other than perhaps the National League. You can't see too many getting games at other League Two. Certainly not the top of League Two, anyway. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Jack has anything on that, but I mean, I do think with the contract lengths, I'm not too worried about some of them that are on 3 year deals, because I think nobody's set the word alight yet. But I still think some of those players that we have tied down for longer terms, I would be encouraged would probably come good. So I'm yet to sort of fall into the camp of, look, we've wasted a load of money on a load of crap for 3 years. I think there's decent players there that I think could be assets over 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's any need to panic. I'm still in the camp of the players we have this year are sort of technically significantly better than we had last year, and I think we've already seen in the last 2 games under the right stewardship, playing the way that actually suits their technical, prowess. I think we'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be many players that we've given more than a one-year deal to that we're panicking about in a year's time.
We've got another game to look forward to. The locals have anyway, Alex, on Tuesday. It's the youth team, isn't it? And the FA Cup, which I think quite a few people I've spoken to seem to be going. I know I've moved sort of off the game there a little bit, what we were talking about, but I just remembered, and I think it'd be good to get a good crowd down there.
Yeah, it'd be good as well, because I mean, it does tie in with Artell, doesn't it? Because he's got a record for working in youth football, and to try and get as many down there as we can is not only good for the club, but also good for the youth team to be playing in front of crowds and maybe make it not so much of a big step forward. So if I was in Grimsby, I think it's reasonably priced. I'd be down there having a look at some of the lads that we might have coming through. So hopefully a lot of us get down there.
And there's a cash turnstile as well, I believe, which Christine confirmed the other day, which I think is a great idea, because it means you can just rock up with your £5 or your £3 or whatever, and you don't have to, you don't have to trail to the ticket office, or you don't have to go onto your online portal. And I don't even know if you can load your season ticket with that one, but you don't have to mess about like that. You can just rock up old school, pay your money, and in you go. So yeah. So that should hopefully be a decent crowd. And Forest in the third round of the Youth Cup is it's a challenge for the lads, but it's 11v11, isn't it? And I don't see our youth team seems to be, as usual, very competitive under Neil Woods and his coaches.
I'd be interested to know. Oh, I think Alex might be back now. People may have noticed we were filling a bit while Alex had some sound problems.
That wasn't filling. That was me. That was my best contribution, Mike.
Yeah,
I'm sure whatever you guys said was incredible. But has Jack at least filled in the conversation when I said "ah shit" on Radio Humberside?
Oh, what a magnificent! I'll tell the story. Has it not been told yet in the 10 minutes on there? And then I've got to bounce because I've got to get on a train. But yeah, there was a few of us in the car. Alex kindly volunteered to drop us back to Milton Keynes station. So we had kind of 20 minutes of waiting in the car park, for the traffic to move. And in said spell, I think Alex was due to go on Radio Humberside as the fans forum after the game, but has to, because he's a sensible driver, gave the phone in the car to Lloyd, who was stepping in for Mr. Green. And at the exact perfect moment, the phone decided to connect to the car, meaning Lloyd couldn't hear what was going on through the phone. Before Alex realised what was going on, said the singular word "shit," which was broadcast to millions on BBC Radio Humberside. And poor Ollie had to apologise profusely for the mishap. But it was one of them fantastically innocent, beautiful happenings that just brought pure joy to the car for about the next 25 minutes.
He was so proud because he rang me up to say, "Did you hear me swear on the radio?" And I was asleep. I'm like, "What the chuffing hell is Alex doing?" Ringing. I was like, "Hello." He went, "Did you hear me swear on the radio?"
He rang me at 25 past 10, and I thought I was special.
Yeah, I rang everybody. No one else cared. None of my family cared. So you're my adopted family. So I had to ring you guys to say, "Look, did you hear?" And then Jack had worked out that my car says every text message that came in, and then sent me a text that said, and I'll make sure I copy it verbatim because I don't want to, incorrectly
legal reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he he said, nope, that's not the right one. He sent me as a text. Oh, how very old school. He said, "Cock ticks wank ball poo."
Can I say though, I did learn my lesson because unlike MK Dons, you wouldn't give us a lift back to the station, so we had to get.
I'm not going through Oxford. Get fucked. I'm not doing that.
And I was waiting for Humberside to give me a call, and they gave me a call at 10 to 6, and I was in a cab with 5 of them, and they're all going on about if they ring, we're all going to shout and swear in the background. So I had to tell them I was too busy.
It was brilliant. It's been a fantastic week to be a Town fan on so many levels. I am going to have to run, chaps. I hope you enjoyed my biannual cameo.
Nice to see you.
We missed your face, Jack. We missed your face. That's all, mate.
I've not done the hair.
Oh, what? Right, I'll see you later then, mate. Have a great one.
See you
Enjoy your
later,
train.
chaps. Much
Cheers,
love,
Jack.
bye.
Right.
And then we've got, so there we go. Jack is here. Nice to see him hammered, which is great. Ben wants to know, when do you think we can expect Charles Vernon to be back in action?
I think
can't be far now.
they were saying the turn of the year back on the pitch, weren't they? I think they once he's back, he'll obviously have a lot of work to do to catch up with fitness. But they were talking about New Year a week or so ago. So
He's
I think he'll be
fit to prove.
But I think he'll be one of the players that will be really unleashed with how Dave Artell tries to play football. I think Charles Vernon is a Division 4 footballer for a reason. He's not going to tear it up every week. But I think if you utilise him well when he comes back, he could be one of the best assets we've had for a long time.
That's a big call.
Yeah. It's all about opinions, isn't it? It's all about opinions.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying it. I think it's a big call.
When's the last real good winger we've had? Name the last real good winger we've had.
Papaga.
You didn't say winger though. You didn't say winger though. You didn't say winger. You said the best asset we've had for a long time. You didn't say.
Well,
winger.
yeah, he's not a goalkeeper though. Is, you know what I mean? In comparison to his position.
I don't think he stands out from most of the others that we've had in the last 5 or 7. Not on a regular basis. And if he doesn't do it on a regular basis, then he's not that big an asset, is he? In my opinion.
I've got to agree with Bruce, but I am looking forward to seeing it. He has the potential.
Well, you're both wrong.
Okay.
So.
Okay, we're wrong, Bruce. So
last time Mike said I was wrong. I was thrusting about the third shot into his hand yesterday.
Yeah. And you weren't wrong then, were you? So, you've got a history of being right, and Mike should, remember that.
I said potential.
I hope he does come good.
You said asset.
Because he is definitely one of the players that, when he was fit this season and our bad run started, looked way below what we expected of him. So I hope he does come good.
I just looked
at the time though. He was coming back from knee injury in the summer as well, though, wasn't he? But yeah,
brilliant, good. So we got another 6 months of that, then, have we? Great.
He's coming back.
We got. He's coming back from injury, Well,
I wonder if Darren Anderson's busy.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Don't worry, it'll be good next season, Bruce. That's the thing. It'll be his year.
No, but he's an asset. He's an asset when he's fully fit.
He's got the potential to be one of the best assets we've got.
That's not anything to crow about at the moment. Jesus.
Right.
I think I've really enjoyed the way we've played. It's been actual nice, entertaining football. Hurst felt, and trying to not be disparaging to the guy, because he's, what he did really worked, but there wasn't that level of quick passing, moving. 2015, 2016, it was beautiful. It really was. And you had some players who just were in tune with one another. But I feel like Paul Hurst's football was a bit receive the ball from an easy pass, stop, look up, pass. And that was it, for 13 passes before we lost the ball. At least in the last couple of days, you've seen the players confident enough to be able to, take the ball, flick it on with a quick move. As as you're looking for the overlaps, you're looking for the runners. We were finding space behind the guys. We found it actually relatively easy to get the ball from defence to attack against Oxford. And I know I'm hoping amongst hopes that that's going to be what we can see. And this league is so tight. We're what? How far are we off the playoffs? Like 8 points or something ridiculous like that? Or am I over exaggerating? But it's, you don't have too many points until we're in mid-table and we're looking up rather than looking down. And by the end of December, we could be, back to it, a couple of additions, and everyone's like, here we go, someone's pulling out a promotion train again. It's that quick to change it.
Look, we're in a position at the minute, I think, with this league that you come out of Christmas into the new year and you've had a few good results. You can be looking on it and thinking, well, like, what were we all on about? That's how this league is this year, and that's how the Christmas period is. The games come quick and fast. And if we can get on a bit of a run into the Christmas period, you're getting 3 points one day, 3 points 2 days later, 3 points 2 days after that. You can soon build up a momentum. And I think with how he wants to try and play football, and with this squad, if they can start getting some results together, I think they'll grow in confidence, which we've mentioned before. So yeah, it's
Do you
going
know
to be an
what, Mike?
interesting period.
You are absolutely right. Bang on. It's almost like I said something similar like 2 minutes ago. Completely agree with you.
I was trying to make the point that when they come quick and fast, and you get a few results, that the confidence will grow. And I think that's the biggest issue we've had is them guys not having the confidence.
Bruce, do you think they're full of confidence now?
I think only not well defensively. No,
not after listening to this.
No, and then having said that, the way that they finished yesterday, no. So no, there's a long way to go. Like Mr. Artell says. But I just going back to your thing about the run and the games, I think we've got 2 fairly winnable home games coming up, or games that I would fancy us to win. And then you've got, I think you've got Mansfield away. You've got 3. You've got Salford away in December, and there's one more, Newport, which is not a happy. I think we won there last year, but that was about the only time I can ever remember us winning at Newport. So I think it's going to be if we get on a good run, I think it's going to be quite well earned, because I don't think we're particularly, Mansfield's not going to be an easy place to go on Boxing Day, and like I say, the other 2, Newport and Salford, they're not easy. They're not the easiest of places to go. So I hope we can start to get a bit of a run together. And I think Saturday is quite a big game for us, because I think we really, in his 3rd game, I think we could really we're getting the monkey off the back. We're playing better, but I think we need to win that on Saturday at home, especially with, like I say, then only one of the next 4 games is at home.
I think the next 3 games are eminently winnable. Up until the 23rd of December, I think we've got an opportunity. And then you think we're 4 games at the moment in the league without defeat. We take an opportunity to beat Crewe, which I think we should, and we should do. I think I agree with you, Bruce. It's an important game that we start, getting these wins. Newport, I know you say it's not a happy hunting ground, but they are absolutely terrible at the moment. Harrogate at home, and then you've got, potentially 3 games. Then you've gone to 7 games without a defeat as you go into Mansfield on Boxing Day, where, everyone's up for it a little bit more. Salford away is always one of those weird ones. I think you've got a bit of an opportunity at the moment to start putting some together before we get to sort of AFC Wimbledon and Notts County on the 6th and the 13th of Jan.
Can I just wish Ramsgate, I think it's Ramsgate, good luck tomorrow, because I really want that to be Wimbledon, and it's not looking very hopeful on the 6th of January. I've got no game for Maisie, and I haven't been to Wimbledon, and I would like to go, please. So if you're from, I think it's Ramsgate. If you're from Ramsgate, please beat the Wombles tomorrow, so that my dream can come true. In the old days, I would have written to somebody, but I'm not going to do that.
The Football Ramble, whoever the guy on there, said Robbie Savage is the worst BBC radio DJ, radio person the BBC has ever had. I was like, well, he's at least the 2nd worst. Can we at least agree on the 2nd? Since you mentioned him, Bruce. Mike, what were you going to say?
I was only going to, you've sort of drifted off it now, but I was just going to make the point that everything you say about the Christmas period and the games, you're then into a transfer window, and it'd be interesting to see how he goes about in the transfer window. I think pre-match, he mentioned that he'd spoken to Joe Hutchinson already about how far they are down the line with a lot of the targets they're in for. So I think January is going to be an interesting time as well, because I get the sense from the appointment, it's not this manager now comes in and brings all the players he wants. It is still the collaborative, as the club are going to identify who they think, and then the manager has the final say. So that'll be interesting to see how we do there.
But you would imagine if the style of play's changed, then the type of player we're looking for in some areas has changed. And poor old Joe might be like, "Oh no, after all that work I've done, and now you're not interested in player X or player Y."
Well, the opinion I get, Bruce, the opinion I get is the reason they've gone down this route is because that's his way, is how they want to play. Now, obviously, that's always going to be slightly different with each manager. But Jason spoke an awful lot about identity and how we play football and talked about that. So I would think surely that message would have got through to Joe Hutchinson, who, won't be an idiot. When he gets told that, he'll look for players which match that sort of specification. So I think it's more the appointment, as well as being a good one on the football side. It does look like it's a more joined up thought process around player recruitment and manager and recruitment specialists, etc. I think it just looks a more joined up process, because I don't think
definitely.
the style they wanted to play is not Paul Hurst's style. So I think the problem is Paul Hurst got players that don't do well the way he wanted to play, and I think that's half the problem with what we've had this season.
Joe Mooney's
Yeah,
Joe Mooney's quite right. He said Crew could potentially go second if they win at the weekend. How good do you think we are? I might be well downplaying Crew's chances, but I see it as a winnable game. And I think the Crew fans I've spoken to, which I've done over the last couple of weeks because of Artel, are a little bit nervous about facing him. They're not necessarily as nervous facing Callum Ainley, but they're a bit nervous about facing Artel at least.
Yeah, I think as you say, the way that I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it, aren't they, so that if in 3 years' time Artel moves on, the club's got a structure and it's got a way of doing things that Sean Pearson or another takes over, and things don't change, and things don't really change. The players, we're not going to be ripping up we're not going to be, oh shit, we've got Alex Hunt on a 7-year contract and he's no longer wanted by the new manager because Alex Hunt is going to fit into the playing style, for example, that we're looking to do. So I think that's what they're trying to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've said before, you see a manager go in League Two, and we've seen it before when we've had summer transfer windows with 15 players leaving and 16 coming in. I don't think that's at all sustainable for any form of progression or building anything. So I think you're quite right. They just want, this is how we play. These are the sorts of players we want. And the manager will obviously be qualified and a good manager, but he will also fit into that. So we don't lose David Artel in 2 years' time and a Russell Slade comes in and says, right, get rid of all these players that like the football. We'll get some big ones in. It just doesn't work. So that's why I like the appointment. It looks more long-sighted than if you look at it just on the face of it as well.
I don't want to drag us back a little bit, but I'd like to emphasize exactly, I think, how important these next couple of, this Christmas period of games are, because I think it does change who you can get in January, because if you can at least find yourself to where could we be, sort of 13th, 14th, that is sort of 7 points away from where we are now. If we can get into that position, then it's a different proposition to go to players with, rather than a club that is, you can sell them the story that we're going in the right direction, but the league table doesn't suggest that. And I think when you're a player and you've got quite a few offers in, you immediately quickly filter ones out. So I think in the next couple of months, if we can get some games to wins together and push us up the table, I think that's a really important part of where Artel can start pulling him in. And at the same time, I think it's a really good time to bring him in, because he's got a month to assess the players he's got and look for those alternatives as well. What were you going to say?
You're not going to want to go to a club where you might be playing in the National League next year, are you, if you think you're a Football League player?
No, unless you're a scunny team, in which we could have a look and see if we could potentially pick any of their players and do what they've done to us for the last 10 years without being able to afford it. Mike, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, you're right. It just makes it an instantaneous, easier conversation to have with a player. Even if you're only 4 points better off, but you're seven places better up, it's just an easier conversation.
And I think it changes pretty quickly, because we're 3 points off 16th. So, if we can, jump a couple of places immediately, it starts looking easier and far better. Chris Billingham wanted to say, off the pitch, it's good to see Debbie Cook has been rewarded for her work with her move to the EFL. Yep, Debbie Cook, for those of you who don't know, the CEO has been offered a position and taken it at the EFL. It'll be interesting to see who the new CEO appointment who'll be brought in by the club. It'll be interesting to see as well. And I don't necessarily think, like Debbie, it might well be from outside of the world of football. It's about operations and how they galvanize the workforce and bring it in. And it'll be interesting to see which way they go. But I don't know. If anyone's got a good boss locally, then, maybe suggest they go in for it. Just me. Okay.
No, yeah. Congratulations to Debbie. I think that's, it's a great move for her. And it's a great move for the club as well. It shows the club, obviously, if its staff are getting poached to go higher up, it obviously shows something's going well. So yeah, well done her.
And it opens up a new door in the Sam Tries marketplace, doesn't it?
CEO for a week.
He is, and no disrespect to turnstile operators, but he is turnstile operator level. He is not CEO level. Let's be honest. Not having him,
But Josh.
Yeah, well, yeah. Wondering why, Nigel Farage is allowed to book the McMenemy suite again.
If we've drifted sort of off the football now, one thing I'd like to say, I really enjoyed yesterday, and it was great. I had a couple of people that listened to the pod come up and say hello. And I think that, forgive me if I get his name wrong, but Rich that biked to the pub yesterday, I had a nice chat with him. So yeah, hello to everybody that came and said hello. It was nice to meet them. It was really nice.
They just wanted to make sure you weren't a hologram and you were really there.
Well, that's what happens at games, Mike. That's what
Bruce has been telling us all the time.
Talk to other fans.
I was just saying it was nice. Hello, great.
No,
to see
it is
you.
nice. Wait, no, we shouldn't take the piss. No, you're right. Sorry,
Fucking hell.
Alex. You started that, Alex.
It's usually green.
And I got sucked. And I got sucked in. And I'm sorry, Mike. That was unnecessary.
Ben Hill says Mike missed a big time McMahon. So
Right,
there you go.
It's just nice that people just come and say hello. That's all I'm saying.
Arrogant arsehole. That's what we say, innit, Bruce?
All right,
How arrogant
fuck you
was
all.
that?
Don't come and say hello.
Oh, listen to that, Bruce. Listen how aloof he is. Thinks he's above it all and better than everyone.
I could have had 20 people say hello to me yesterday. And I won't talk about it today because I can't remember it.
You did. They said, "Hello, sir. Would you like some assistance?"
There were a few town fans. I remember the kind people helped me up off the floor when H tripped me up.
And yeah, it was nice. It was nice, and then gave out all those stickers. So hopefully you'll see them around. Mike's been putting them on the Northern Line. So yeah, that's good. I don't know what else to say. I'm stuffed with cold, if you can probably tell. So I'm dying. So good night.
It was cold yesterday, wasn't it? It was cold yesterday.
It wasn't 2013 Wrexham cold FA Trophy final.
No, and it wasn't Colville cold. We've had a few games, haven't we? But no, it wasn't that cold. But
I wore gloves.
Felt. I tried to rummage around through the wife's drawers before I left the house, and where my hat and gloves live. But it was a bit dark, and I couldn't really see where I was going, so I left the house hat and gloveless.
There were so many innuendos in that was incredible.
I don't know what you're referring to, Alex.
I assumed, Bruce, you were a bit like the chef on the Titanic who kept his alcohol level up and survived in the bitterly cold Atlantic Ocean for longer than anybody else because he, downed a bottle of whiskey.
Because he had his bearskin on. Yeah, there was definitely some bearskin yesterday, but
yeah,
like I say, yes, we move on. We move on. Crew at home, and I won't be that pissed.
And then Christmas. Everybody got their tree up yet, or is it just me?
No.
When does yours go up? 24th.
I did it today.
Mike's done it. First weekend of December, usually, isn't it? And
yeah, but...
Bruce, have you not sort of fashioned some sort of GTFC advent calendar for us?
No, but I did see a good advent calendar today. We went to one of Claire's aunties, and she got this advent calendar that was jigsaw puzzles, and you got a separate little puzzle every day for the 24 days, and then it made one big puzzle. We could do that. That would be quite cool.
And it was that picture of it was the one that was naked. Gavin Holohan with the playoff trophy.
Mary.
Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, Joseph with his mobile phone out with a torch on, so they could see what they were doing. I think we're into that 10 minutes at the end of the pod where we just need to sort of say that we're off and it's done.
We're done.
Is there any more messages?
No, not really.
Is anyone listening today? Is there anyone there?
Yeah, there's people here. But I think
is it less than 100? Is it less than 100 this week?
It is less than 100. Oh, Andrew Matthews says, "Do we like this year's retro kit?"
Yes.
Bruce does. I think it's great. And what about you, Mike? Any opinion?
It is good.
Good. Great. Probably. Fucking hell. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. It was as painful for you as it was for us. And Daniel Lewis says, I'm a celeb is coming on, so fuck off. See you later. And thank you all very, very much for listening. Thank you for everyone who got an order in on the prints. Really appreciated. Lovely gift for anyone at Christmas. And, you know, I might even stick some of those Artel stickers in there as well if you want one. So go to the podcast and get them. Mike, you have a question. Yes, the respectable bloke at the back.
Can I have some more Artel stickers, please?
No, you took loads of them.
Well, I know. I put a load of them all over the place yesterday.
Right, get yourselves down to Bundle Park on Tuesday and support the youth.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, of course. They're playing Forest, aren't they?
Yes, I did mention it earlier.
You
but
did.
I just wanted to leave it in people's minds to get themselves down there. It's only a £5, £3. £3 for kids, and the bar's open.
Bar's open, a £5 to get in. Tuesday, 7 o'clock kickoff, is it?
I believe so, yes. So you'll all be home ready. You know, the kids will be home for 9 o'clock-ish, as long as there's no extra time.
Well,
we do like extra time in a knockout game.
We really do. Thank you all so much for coming. We hope you enjoyed it. We shall see you very shortly, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be on a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got penalty here. There'll be fish flying about. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! Really